Okay, let's look at the field stripping of the model 1921, otherwise known as the Colt Thompson. Externally, it looks like the model 1928s until you inspect it more closely. And I might mention a previous video I have looking at the external close-ups of this gun. Well, let's see about field stripping this weapon. We'll drop the clip and the buttstock. Getting down to the basic gun, make sure nothing's in the breech. We'll put the actuator and bolt in the all-the-way forward position. The rocker or select fire switch will be set to full auto and the safety switch set to fire. We will set this upside down on a stable surface, and on the underneath side there's a little button right there that is the frame assembly release. We're going to press that down and push, actually bump it back a little bit. And we're going to just pull it back. We're going to pull the trigger as we do to keep the rocker from hitting that thing. And once we do that, we'll notice almost immediately that the internals of the model 1921 have a lot of nickel in them, as opposed to the model 1928A1. Perhaps we can see the difference of this. Model 1928A1, model 1921. Now we'll put the frame assembly aside and look up close at the receiver and its contents. We'll see the recoil spring and the buffer pilot, both of which are a lot bigger in the model 1921. We'll also notice the nickel bolt of the 1921. Now we are going to go ahead and take this out, and we're going to do that just by depressing the flange in. Of the buffer pilot, and then bring that forth. Bring it all the way out. And the spring of the model 1921 is very much larger than the spring of the model 1928A1. The smaller spring you see here is from the model 1928A1. The larger spring is from the 1921. 1928A1 spring is a little bit longer and thinner. The buffer pilot apparatus from the 1928A1 is smaller and also has a little fiber, or in this case a hard rubber disc that goes on it. The buffer pilot in the model 1921 doesn't have any external discs. It was designed to have a couple of little discs down inside there. This went on top, and the disc is not completely symmetrical. It is a bit eccentric and has a little flat surface right there. That flat surface will go against the top of the receiver when we put it back together. And we'll put these parts aside. The bolt will bring all the way back and simply lift it out now. This is the bolt with its extractor, the hammer, and the firing pin mechanism, all three. And notice also that the bolt and the hammer are also nickel on the model 1921s. We're going to bring the actuator forward, and up pops the blish lock, and you can see perhaps the little up direction and a arrow on the blish lock that points towards the barrel. The model 1921 Colt Thompson are made to real tight specifications. Takes a little finagling to get the parts unloosed. But here is the blish lock. We'll put it aside, and we'll just move the actuator back and lift it out. The actuator of the model 1921 is very thin. That's a very notable difference. So the spring, the buffer pilot, and the actuator are the main differences of the internals. This is compared with the actuator of the model 1928A1, a very significant difference. Easy to see. The thinner, lighter actuator and different spring accounted for the faster cyclic rate of the model 1921, estimated to be 700 to 800 rounds per minute, versus 600 to 700 rounds a minute for the 1928A1.